Hello again, it's me, James Taylor, author of Jazz and Improvised Piano. In this video we're going to discuss how we can improvise in the right hand over ladybird. Now, for the chords, you've seen how we've got a set of 2-5 and 2-5-1 type patterns. All we've got to do is to identify which keys these 2 5s and of course chord 1s belong to, and then we know which scales we're going to use. So the first chord is a C major chord, the first chord of the piece. So over this, of course, we can use a C major scale. So over this, the right hand, of course, if you find it tricky getting a jazz feel when you're playing this, because C major scale is pretty hard to make jazzy at the best of times. But anyway, it will help a lot if you check out the video on jazz rhythm. I mean, that kind of thing works quite well. Again, C major scale is all white notes. So over the left hand here, you could either just play sort of a set of C's like that, or you could play a rocking bass, or you could do what I suggested in the last video, but this is obviously a little bit harder. Anyway, so I'm just going to play a simple 4 C's for each bar to give you some sort of idea of what you can do. And so for the first 2 bars here, C major scale. Left hand's going to do that. Right hand's going to play on exclusively white notes, using a sort of jazz da ba da ba da ba ba da ba da ba sort of rhythm, accenting the ands, the offbeats. You're going to get something like this. Okay, yes, it is pretty hard to make C major scales sound jazzy, but that's a good start. Now then, the next 2 bars, we've got an F minor chord going to a Bflat7 chord. Now the minor 7 chord is actually often a chord 2, and the 7 chord is often the chord 5. So using this reasoning then, we've got an F minor chord, which happens to be chord 2 of E flat major, and we've got a B flat, which happens to be a Bflat7, which happens to be chord 5 of E flat major. So although it doesn't actually go to the chord 1, we've got the chord 2 and the chord 5 of E flat major. So the right hand can improvise using the scale of E flat major, which has got the E flat, the A flat, and the B flat, sorry. So the E flat, A flat and B flat, and E flat. So we've got these 3 black notes, and those white notes, and those white notes. So we can improvise over the F minor, and we could play the chords in the left hand, or we could play the bass. So this is just 4 Fs and 4 B flats. I'm just going to play this sort of bass, that's all, just 4 notes there. And the right hand's going to improvise using the notes of E flat major scale, which gives you this. So far for the first 4 bars now, we've got 2 bars of C major, then 2 bars of E flat, and then we go back to C major for the next 2 bars. And then we got a B flat minor 7 chord going to an E flat 7 chord. Well, again, the B flat is a minor chord, so it could be a chord 2, and the E flat 7, well, 7s are normally a chord 5. A B flat is note 2 of A flat major scale. E flat is note 5 of A flat major scale. So we can use the notes of A flat major scale: A flat, B flat, C natural, D flat. So provided we, and again, I can improvise using those notes there, and they will fit over the B flat minor and the E flat 7. Okay, and of course the next chord is A flat major 7, which is chord 1 of A flat, where the right hand is already improvising using A flat major scale, so we can just carry on using A flat major scale. And again in the right hand, so A flat major scale. So over the B flat minor 7 chord, the E flat 7 chord, and the 2 bars of A flat major, we're going to use an A flat major scale. To summarise so far, over the C major chords, we put C major scale, and then at the end of the first line, we've got the F minor 7 chord to the B flat 7 chord. Over those, we use E flat major. So the first line's 2 bars of C major, then 2 bars of E flat major. The second line starts off with C major again, C major scale in the right hand. And then the last 2 bars of the second line are B flat minor and E flat 7, which are in A flat major. So the right hand can improvise here using an A flat major scale. Now the third line, again, the first 2 bars are just A flat major 7 chords, so we can carry on using the A flat major scale. In effect, the B flat minor 7 to the E flat 7 to the A flat major 7 is actually a 2-5-1 in A flat. Now, the next chord is the A minor 7 going to a D7 chord. Of course, the minor 7 is often to chord 2. A happens to be note 2 of the G major scale. Similarly, the next chord is the D7 chord. D is actually note 5 of G major chord, of G major scale. So the A minor 7 and the D7 belong to G major. So the right hand can, of course, improvise using a G major scale. We've just got, it's all white notes apart from the F sharp here. And that would give you something like this. Again, on the left hand here, it's going to play 4 A's, then 4 D's. And then the last line here, we just got D minor 7 for 1 bar. We're going to a G7. D minor, of course, is chord 2 of C major, and G7 is chord 5. G is the 5th note of C major scale. So we can use C major scale, all white notes. Now the last 2 bars are all a bit wild. So over this, as I said, the left hand is can do 2 beats of C, 2 beats of E flat, 2 beats of A flat, and 2 beats of D flat. Over this, the right hand can just play in the C blues scale. C blues scale, you know, as of old. If you don't, do turn to the one of the early videos. There are 2 easy ways to find the blues scale. But here's your C blues scale, just to remind you. So the last line there, like I say, we've got two bars of C major. We've already got the D minor and the G7 chord, and then we just got a single C when the left hand does this, and over that the right hand is going to use C blues. So we get this sort of thing. First of all, the 2-5-1 in C major. Then C blues, and back to the top again. Okay, so I'm going to write a quick summary of this in the text underneath. So just going for the top again. In the first line, you got 2 bars of C major. Then you C major scale at the top of this. The third and fourth bars of that first line, you've got an F minor and B flat 7. We're using E flat major scale. So the first line, 2 bars of C major, 2 bars of E flat major. The second line, similarly, 2 bars of C major, and then you got 2 bars of A flat major over the B flat minor 7 and E flat 7. The third line, you've got A flat major, over which you'd use an A flat major scale for the first 2 bars. And then the last 2 bars of the third line, you can use a G major scale because you've got the A minor 7 and D7, which is chords 2 and 5 in G major. For the last line, the fourth line, you've got a 2-5 in C, over which you'd use a C major scale, and then for the last 2 bars, just play a C blues scale. By the way, you can just play a single C in the left hand and just play nothing for the last 2 bars, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, while the right hand is improvising in C blues. And then back round to the top again. Okay, I hope this has been helpful. Sorry, it does feel as if it's come over a bit more complicated than it actually is. Like I say, do check out the video on the 251s. That'll make it a bit clearer. Anyway, I've tried to summarize this all in the text below this video, so do have a look at that too.